Right, welcome back. Right, today I'm going to try, well, I'm going to fit some ditch lights. So Auxbeam have kindly sent me these. So we've got the 4 Series Cube Z and it's them babies there, look. And obviously you get all the wiring by it. Well, you get all the wiring with it. And also they sent me a switch panel. So that's the wiring box, that's where all your cabling goes to. And somewhere in here, which is there I think, we've got the switch panel, got an 8 gang, and we've also got a remote control. So we can press buttons and make them light up and all that kind of thing. So I'll get some stuff together and I'll get the bonnet up and we'll see where we're going to mount it. Right, so looking under the bonnet, I think I'm going to do something very similar to what I done last time and put it there. You do get brackets that can sit in vertical, but the problem is you can't see the bloody terminals when you're trying to connect them up, plus you're kind of struggling for space, and that's the only kind of place I can think to put it. So if I put it there like that, the cable entry's there, I can go down and underneath, come out the back here, pick up an ignition live fuse there, and then all my wiring can run around the the bonnet area and through the bulkhead, which is behind there. So I'll get it mounted and then we'll see what it's like for wiring and things like that. Right, back in a minute. Now you do get a 60 amp breaker with it, which is that, but I'm not going to use that, because if you go under your bonnet, that's if you've got a crafter, and you go in here and open up, you can see where I haven't tightened it up yet obviously, but you can see the bottom one is spare. So if we put a 60 amp MIDI fuse in there, practically doing the same thing, and then we can feed the cable out of there, down there, and then it would go onto there, and then a negative onto there, same route up here. There's a negative terminal just there. So I haven't fixed any of this in yet, I was just having a little test run, but yeah, that's how I'm going to do it anyway. So don't use the breaker, you don't really need to, providing you've got a crafter, that is, and you can access that little fuse box, and it's ignition live as well, so it'll be on when the ignition's on. So right, I'll get that fixed down and then we'll get some wiring done. Right, so what I've done is, I'll show you quickly, I'll just undo this cap. So there's the positive, which goes onto that terminal there, which will get a MIDI fuse in. There's the negative, which goes onto there, and there's the box. So that's mounted solid, positives connected, negatives connected. So all these outlets here, you can have pod lights, roof lights, rear lights, undercarriage lights, any kind of lights you want, and the switch panel will go in the cab. So I need to get a cable from here right through there, and also you've got your accessory there, which is an ignition live, and that one there is where your control panel plugs into, so that cable is also to get right through there. So we'll rip some panels off and then we'll get it. Right, so as we stand at the minute, positive, negative connected, auxiliary cable is there. There's the end there, look. That needs to go to the fuse box under the passenger seat. Right, so under here, this is where the positive's connected, so the MIDI fuse is going to go in there, negative down there, and at the back there there's a grommet where my finger is. Now on the end, on the top of it should I say, there's a little nipple, and if you cut the top off the nipple you can get access through there, which gets you to the footwell for your auxiliary cables and your switch panel. So they're both going to have to go through that little hole in there. So I'm going to get some kind of cable rod through there and try and pull it through. So let the fun begin. So there There's my cable rod through that grommet I just mentioned. If we go around here and look underneath here, I know it's quite hard to see, I'll try and get the light there for you. Right, hang on a minute, I'll just alter this camera. So if you can kind of maybe, hang on a minute, can you see up there? Oh, hang on. So up there, you can see the blue rod coming through. You just need to pull your floor down, and there it is up there. So what we'll do is we'll tie the cables on the other side and we'll pull them through, and then we've got them in the footwell. So then we're kind of good to go. It's right faff that. Right, so everything's connected up in there. We've got positive, negative, auxiliary wire which goes to the cab. That's your control wire. All go through the bulkhead that I showed you before. Bit of a struggle on, quite hard to film, hence the reason I didn't. And then when we get to this side, there's the cable. That's for your control pad. The other one goes down there, under here, and it pops out in here. So that red one there is a piggyback fuse, which will go into one of these here. So that gives you ignition. I think it's the middle row. The middle row on there is they're all ignition lights, so you can just pop that in with one of them. And Bob's your uncle. Job jobbed. So next is mounting the control panel up in the cab somewhere, and then I need to mount the bonnet brackets on the bonnet and then get the Auxbeam ditch lights wired up. But I might do that tomorrow because I'm losing light quick here, and I've got to go out, so catch you later. Right, it's the next day now and I'm back at it. So we've got these brackets. Tried to get them off mule vans, but they haven't got any in stock. So these are from Autobeam, exactly the same to be honest, but these are stainless. So these are going to go like that. So I'll set this camera up and I'll show you how to put them on. So all you're going to need is a 13mm ratchet, and that is it. So literally take these two nuts off. They're quite tight. Like so. Obviously these have never been off before. Which is the one I need to take bottom? I might as well take them both off. Well then your bonnet wants to try and escape. So just keep your hand on it. The other side not too bad, but this stay unbalances it, I think. Just keep it tight like that. Take the nut off. Now then, which one is the slider? The bottom one. It's easy to take them both off if I'm honest. But just don't let go of your bonnet, or you will know about it when it lands on your head. Like so. So then somehow you have to get your bracket, hook it around your bonnet like so, and get it on there without letting go, and then get your nut back on pronto, because it hurts your hand, like so, and then you can kind of relax. And then you drop the nut in there like that. Oh, luckily it's just there. Now I've lined them up with the top of the nut, and I've done the same on the other side as well. So then you've got one in, you're kind of safe, and you can nip the other one up. And that is them on, just like that. So the next thing you want to do is take your lights, whether they be Auxbeam or whatever they are, and all I do, or what I've done on my last one, is to take the bracket off, drop the screws on the floor, and put your bolt in first, because when it's like that you can't actually get your bolt in because the light's in the way. So you kind of need to remove these first, which isn't hard obviously, but you know. So that's them off, and then you've got, or I've got, some black bolts. Now that is 10mm, that is 8mm, so you might need to drill out, well you will need to drill that out. So I'll drill that out and then I'll come back. Right, so got my bracket, pop it on another bracket, get your nuts, your spring washer, pop them on there like that, and then put your nut on. It sounds dead easy, doesn't it? And it should be, but it ain't. That's it. So then just position as so, and then grab your light, put it on. Dead easy. Sorry if my big head's in the way. So that is kind of it. And then it's just a case of nipping these up like so. Right, so all them they're tight now, so then you just need a 13, I think it is. Kind of line them up straight and nip these up. And that is kind of it. So what I tend to do as well is, where to find it, I'll show you. You can buy little screw caps off eBay, Amazon, wherever you want, and just pop it over the nut. I think it just makes it look so much better. So I'll give it a close up. See there? Just makes it look a lot neater. So as you can probably see, I've done both of them. I've done another one without filming, but that's them on the bonnet ready to wire up. So we'll get them wired up and I'll show you what they look like. Right, so once you've got your lights mounted on your bonnet, you've got a wiring loom, comes in the pack, but you don't actually need all this, so you can actually cut it off, the relay and all that. So two of these should be your lights. So if you stretch them out, get your two plugs and just follow them all the way at the end. And right at the end is where you can cut them off. So as you can see, just follow them all the way back, and that's where they go into the relay there. So you can cut them off there, and them can go into your the box that I've just installed under the bonnet, but I'll show you that in a sec. So I'll cut these off and then I'll see you. Right, so them wires I've just chopped off. Go at the end of the light, simply push it together and you'll hear a little click, and then it's just a case of popping it into your box, which is down there. So there's the left hand side, which I've just run all the way down there to that light, and that one's the one I've just plugged in there, and that one will go in there with it. So those two will go together. So let's say number one, and that leaves me 7 more for whatever else. I think I said earlier, you could have a light bar on the roof, you could have side markers, you could have underlights, you could have lights on the rear to light the back up, or just lights everywhere. Most men love lights, the more the better. Right, so what I've done is I've run all them wires all around here, all neatly in conduit and all that carry on, and then we get down here. So I've connected the two plugs that are cut off, that's them there, connected up, and these are the indicators and the DRLs. So you've got two options, you can either connect your DRL into here and have it on a switch, which is what I'm probably going to do, and the yellow one is an indicator. So I don't actually know why I've put that in there, that shouldn't be in there, that needs to just be out here ready for the indicator. So I'll connect these up and then we're nearly there then. Right, so everything's connected up as it should be. I just need to tidy up some of the wiring because the wiring's a bit everywhere. But that's where we are now. So we've got positive and negative on number 1. Number 5, we've got the that's the DRL, and then I just need to tidy up the wiring that's everywhere, and the switch panel. And the switch panel needs to go inside, but don't know where I'm going to mount that yet, but we'll think of something. Right, back in the cab again. So final push. I've got the cable through, so I just need to get it to somewhere where I can mount the switch. So what I'm thinking is, let me turn this camera around. No. So down here you've got the cable coming out there, I'm going to take it under there, and then in here you've got this here which clicks in up there, but if you look up there, got a little gap here with cables in, so if I can get it to there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount that in there, so it's kind of out the way but handy at the same time. So I'll get the cable routed through and then we'll fix it up. Right, so got the cable through under the glove box, and up the side here there's a little void. If you take this lid off, like I say, it's this one here, there's an open area underneath where you can get your cable through. So then I've just notched a little bit out of the top corner there, and that will sit back in there. So I'll put that in because it's quite awkward with one hand, and then I'll jump back in. Right, after a bit of faff, I've got the cable through, got that mounted down here. So now we've got all these various stickers of various things. Shower, fish box, if you're into that kind of thing. So I'll stick some of these on, and then we'll give it a whirl. Hopefully it'll work. Right, so everything is now wired up, connected up, sighted and everything. We also have a little remote control, so you can actually use it outside of the van. So to do it, well, I get positioned. So to do it, you hold the on button and any button, and then you get a red light on there. As soon as you get a red light on there, just press the on off button, and that is it. So if you look in my garage, on, off, and you can do that with any, you just press the relative button and they'll come on. So I'll have to wait till it's dark now to show you what it's like at night, but I can show you what the DRLs look like. I've got the DRLs on. I'll show you. I want to say. So if I get my remote, oh, hold on, I need my mic. I'll just hold my mic in my hand so I have no one to put in here. Right, so remote, I'm outside the van. That's for aiming at the van. So if I press, I think I've got it on number 5. DRL's come on. You see that? See? If I press number 1, Jesus, they're bright. Sorted, mint. So that is about it, I think. So big shout out to Auxbeam for sending me them out, and I hope I've done it justice showing you how to put them in. Yeah. Obviously these are still white because I haven't decided what to put on there yet, but I'm sure we'll get more lights in the future. Next time. Right, so I've just nipped out in the van to an industrial estate not far from mine. And hopefully, across this light it's dark, so you'll see that's normal. And this is Auxbeam. Now, they maybe need aimed up a little bit, but you can see the difference there. It's night and day, literally, isn't it? Brilliant. Next time.